Welcome to the Phat Chat. Today's episode, Minecraft and Ghosts. You're here with Josh Grant, Taylor Jeffries, and Lena. So we set up a work Minecraft server, and that's something that I haven't done since I was a teenager, Minecraft, which to some people, and I won't name them in the call, would only be a few years. but to others, it's been a while, and
I'm a little baby boy.
Aww.
yeah, it's Taylor.
It's Taylor.
I didn't want to say it out loud. It's Taylor.
Look at that youthful appearance he has.
Yeah, look at him.
You've Jamed.
You don't.
Very
If you got skin like that, you don't really age with skin like that.
It's just pathetic, to be honest.
No such thing as eye bags.
I need to work on it. Yeah, I don't
You see them, can you? I was trying to hide them.
Nah, I'm teasing.
That was actually one thing that I had to balance before we talk about Minecraft. Was obviously like running companies and on the side like mentoring and doing all kinds of weird things, and then there's like gaming and my family and stuff. And the most logical thing to remove from the equation was exercise and sleep, and and also like making some pretty like tough dietary decisions, like fast food's quicker than cooking.
That's a real.
So
that's a bad one.
And the gamer's lifestyle is real, but I digress. Minecraft. I've set up a Minecraft server. We all live in the same valley. There's dozens of us on the server. And man, it has surprised me that I play a game when I'm a young teenager and I come back and play it now and it's still there. It's still strong.
What's crazy is I've never seen a group of people so diverse in nature be so excited about one game.
It's the first game we've played and the whole company's just jumped on and it's not stopping. Everyone's on 24/7. Nobody's working.
I think the first time we had game time, I noticed that a lot of people never signed out of Minecraft. I don't think any work was done that day. It just created this wave of excitement. Not to dob on anyone.
I that's the beauty of the team though. Like most of these guys work in the evenings and stuff anyway. So when they finally decide to give themselves a break if they want to play Minecraft with the rest of the team, I see that as team building. It's okay.
I heard part of the team worked on Monday on the public holiday to cover how much time they spent on Minecraft the week before. They collectively as a team decided to work a public holiday because of Minecraft.
They worked on the Easter Friday and the Monday, both.
Mad respect.
And I'm still pretty sus. The server's been up for what? Maybe bang on 2 weeks, and there's giant floating netherrack pigman spawners and all these crazy farms, villager prisons. I don't know, man. These guys have done some work, and it's pretty.
No, but you have an Enderman in a boat.
Yeah,
I do. I do have an Enderman in a boat. His name is Falufa, and he's pissed off at me, and I can no longer row around with him because he attacks me, and I'm really upset. Yeah, so
I wonder if you die if his aggro will reset.
Maybe. Might be worth trying.
Write it down. Yeah, I'll cut your head off.
It was really cute just swimming around the lake with him.
Yeah, it looked really romantic.
I got the wrong idea. After many, many years of being a Rust player and playing survival games and massive multiplayer games, I got the wrong idea. So I was a little bit late to the company get together and everyone had logged in. They were forming little teams and building things. I just stormed in and I was like, where's the PvP at? And started to beat down a group of my coworkers.
Let me set the scene.
Yeah.
Me and my other designer, we were just building a house peacefully right next to the spawn, building a house to give a real nice teamwork.
Over the hill.
And then Sonic the Hedgehog flies out of nowhere and starts whacking us with a sword. I think he killed me at least 10 times. And every time we would try and run away with all our belongings, he'd be like, no, join the bandits. It's a revolution.
Yeah. I quickly found myself with no friends alone.
Because there was a ruined portal. So I had an enchanted gold chest plate. And I even think I had a sword. So I was pretty, secure, but I was right by spawn. So what Josh would do is he'd just die and then run at you with flailing fists, come back until he kills you. And we decided we had to leave. So everyone packed their bags, their belongings, and we set out to the four corners of the world to avoid Josh.
It's actually, it says a lot about a character to just never give up like that. To just you knock them down, they get back up. And that's what I was doing. I was literally using my face as a resource against the sword until he ran out of durability. But then after that, everyone moved away. So I took a break and got back to work and played later that night. But everyone moved away and very far away and hid
Nobody
themselves.
wanted to hang out with him.
No one to hang out with me, so I logged on and came back and eventually found everyone, and then decided to reform myself and not be like some horrible PvP griefer and actually set up a nice base and form a team. Team
You wanted to
Squirtle.
build, Josh? So with this change of heart, what did you build in our lake?
So I
Right
set
in
out.
front of Lauren's outlet. What did you build?
Lauren,
A beautiful view.
let's set the scene first, okay? So there's this like amazing like lake with this like surrounded by cliffs and hillside, and the team had formed together and were building a series of like houses along the lakes, like half built into cliffs, half facing out with like beautiful vines and pot plants and windows, and it was this beautiful view. And I decided that I wanted to build a layer on the lake. So like right there, like, the beautiful view of the lake. So I went in there and I spent hours. I think it was ridiculous how long I spent digging out all the natural landmass to make the lake bigger. And then I decided to build this tower. And this tower was like a cylinder that went up, which had multiple floors, with a water lift running straight through the middle of it, going up. And then at the top, I built an artificial crystal dome, kind of like a dome shape with a forest inside the dome. With water.
Straight tower with a giant dome on top.
The giant dome on the top.
Lauren's house.
It had many nicknames. I'm sure you can imagine what we called it.
It took hours and days of architecture to actually make it look less like what it was. The shaft dome.
What did you use? Use like the new cobblestone. It didn't look bad. Like I'm glad it wasn't like traditional cobblestone like most would do.
It's become quite beautiful in my it's ugly beautiful, but it's very grand inside. Like in my bedroom, I've got like a giant aquarium. I've like dragged a glow squid up there. Like it's Minecraft is bizarre, and like so many games have expectations of like how much you need to do. They're like, oh man, you need loops, you need dungeons, you need like all the stuff, you need like story, everything. Minecraft's just like, hey, we've got this like big pixel world, and you can just like build stuff. And for some reason, you just do. Like you pick a project, and you're like, you commit yourself to like a 6-hour project that requires you to like travel around the world and collect random things, and then you complete it, and you're like, that was so much fun. You know what I mean? When really all you did was like hold down left click.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I like that we went looking for a coral reef the other day, so we just got into boats and just sailed for a couple of hours, and we found nothing and accomplished nothing. But that's what Minecraft's all about in my eyes. Like, I'm not here to power game and build like an automated farm or anything game breaking. I just like to experience it and just, I don't know, see what happens, make stories out of it.
I'll never forget when I got lost for like 2 straight hours trying to find the base again. After going on a nice little stroll in the woods. I think it was so embarrassing. But I had such a fun time trying to find the base, just running around, screaming at creepers, But just circling
creepers
back.
Have been improved. Like, I don't remember being killed by creepers as frequently as we have been. They're so much sneakier now, and I don't know how, but they are.
It's like I got lost. So like the way we built our like colony around the mountains is like, for anyone who doesn't know, like in Minecraft, the best way to get diamonds is to go like -58 blocks down and then like strip mine in columns of like 3 to
He's been researching.
You're right. Like, I mean, I've watched a YouTube video. I'm no expert, but like,
who'd you watch?
Everyone did it. Not even important enough to remember. Yeah, because Dream's always posting strip mining videos. God, you can't stop him.
That's his specialty.
Like he loves farming content. He loves it. I was gonna say, but like all of our strip mines started to like merge all the different lanes and rows. And like, speaking of you getting lost, Elena, like I got lost in the strip mine for like 2 hours, and we had to send a rescue party.
Yeah.
And it was like, and then the rescue party got lost. It was a mess.
Yeah. I remember just spinning around in a boat at minus, God knows how deep we were, but just spinning around in a boat going, we're lost.
Oh yeah, that was when I think we were starting to slowly lose our minds at that point, because you can only look at so much cobblestone and dark corridors.
Yeah.
Before you tunnel out a small area, put a boat on the ground and start rowing around.
It was worth the 12 diamonds though. That was fun. That was a good time.
The drama on the server, I want to talk about
the chicken trials,
the chicken farming,
please,
automated chicken launches.
We've got to talk
about it. Scott and I. So like, obviously, like I'm a bit of a noob at the game, and like some of the other players know more. And we were like, well, what funny shenanigans can we get up to? And one of the teams built this like fantastic like empire. Like we're talking like giant walls, buildings, temples, infrastructure. Like it's amazing. And it was built around this like jungle biome. And Scott and I, we got together, we built 5 dispensers, and we created chicken launchers, which basically just fire chicken eggs over their walls all day. It was a huge drama, and it doesn't bring me pride to say that I pinned it on one of the other coworkers.
It was
She
Dan,
got bullied
and
for
everyone
that.
should come together against Dan because it was him.
I'll never forget when you flooded her oxalotl farm with chickens.
Yeah, that's rude. She made such an artful oxalotl farm there.
And we were all crying.
Are we talking about Lauren?
Mm.
Yeah, we're pivoting to the other awful things you've done on the show.
Mate, like, I don't feel bad about a little bit of trolling, bit of fun, bit of a trickster on the server.
You filled her oxalotl farm with like 900 chickens. Do you know how hard that was for her to clean up because like she didn't want to kill her oxalotl?
It was traumatizing.
I went into Jack's base one time. I don't know if he noticed or someone fixed it for him, but like he has these beautiful like pictures. Like he's got his treasury, and then he's got these like lovely picture frames that label what the boxes are and what's inside them. And I just jumbled them up and put them in the wrong space.
Why are you like this? You cause chaos everywhere you go. What's funny is
upset me. Oh, no, you go.
Okay. What's funny is Taylor wanted to be like a solo player at first, making his own house, doing his own mining. But Josh terrorized us so hard that he joined onto us, and we made the air nomads because of our shared trauma of trying to be genocided. And I wanted to tell you this, Josh. I've been holding this in for a while, but the night after you terrorized us in Minecraft and then snuck back in and tried to join our base, I ended up having a lucid dream where you kept killing me in Minecraft, and I was getting so upset.
Lucid dream, like at the end of your bed.
Yeah. I was so convinced it was actually happening. I nearly messaged Lauren the next morning going, oh my god, he killed us again. Don't trust him. Then I was like, it was 4 a.m. I wasn't playing Minecraft. I was asleep.
You just wake up and nothing makes sense.
Yeah.
You know that it's nonsense, but your brain just keeps fucking doing it, and you're kind of...
That's great. Man, speaking of lucid dreams, the other thing that we've been doing a serious amount of as a team is Phasmophobia.
Oh boy.
That game is seriously fire.
Oh, it's so much fun.
I knew it was going to be good, but it's so much better than I expected. Like, it's just fantastic. And I thought it would be confusing to pick up,
guys,
but it's not.
I found something last night after you left, Taylor, that we have never... I don't know if you guys have seen it. When you were in the garage area where you pick the mission and you look up at the rafters, there is a demon staring down on you.
What? I've never noticed that. I'm surprised.
And no matter where you walk in the room, its eyes follow you and its head tilts. So every time you guys have been playing basketball, every time you guys have been wandering around, there's something above you staring down at you with red eyes.
How have I not noticed that? I thought I explored pretty thoroughly.
Oh, that makes me very upset to hear. I'm surprised you didn't prank us with it. So in one of the new updates, there's actually a ghost in the garage. And every single time we play with someone new, we're like, hey, go check out the garage. It's got the Scooby-Doo mystery van. And they always scream. It's an awful jump scare.
I've been working on my script for it. So like what I say is, because there's like a little crack in the door, and if you press your face up to it, like a demon just jumps out and like scares you and screams in your face. And I'm like, man, I can't believe they put like the original Ghostbusters mystery van in the garage. And I'm like, but you can only see it if you press your face up. And I think Cassie was the best reaction of all. Like I think she actually had to go outside and breathe for a little while before playing after she did it. Like it was... did someone record a reaction? I don't think we did.
She recorded it.
So we do have that clip.
She was so trusting of you, Josh. She was like, oh, really? Let me go look. And let out a piercing scream.
You know,
I was like, it was the best reaction.
She's never died on Phasma. Like, we need to do some harder maps.
We need to traumatize her a bit more.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the first few games we played. We were so terrible. We would run around screaming the ghost names and then go, why are we dying? Why are we always dying? It was awful. So scary, but so much fun. It's kind of addicting in how scary it is.
It is. It's like, it's one of those things where like the jump scare of the game, like the game's designed in a really interesting way. Like I couldn't ever imagine playing a single player, just by the way. Like
no, I tried yesterday and I got in and I was like, yeah, I'm a big boy. I'm a brave boy. I'm a big man. And I walked around with my little flashlight and my little temperature. No. And then the ghost turned the lights off and I LT forward. I was like, oh yeah, nope, not doing that.
Oh yeah, not a big man.
One ghost
You're
event.
not sharing the experience with anyone. You're just punishing yourself. And I was like, this isn't fun. I'm not doing this. But yeah.
I feel like sometimes it's fun. Like sometimes when everyone runs back to the van, I just run it on my own for a little while just to feel tough. Or like the lights turn off and I'm like, I'll go into the basement and turn them back on. Like, and I wander down there, but deep down I'm like, please don't.
Yeah.
Please don't the red flat. That sometimes when the ghost hunt, like the whole room flashes red for a little bit, and like you hear it breathing. It's like ooh, stuff. I'm like, don't happen right now, because like
Yeah.
I would just huddle in the corner and cry.
It's so much
Weirdly,
easier when you've got people with you.
I find it
'Cause
so
they
much
might
more
die, not you.
terrifying now that
I-
we know more about the game. Because like
Mm.
when we first started dying, it was like, oh no, I've died, and you just accept it. But now we know you can escape the ghost, you can hide from the ghost, and that's made it way scarier. Because now when it happens, you have to fight against it and run, and that ability to do something is just awful.
What we used
Yeah.
to do, is basically just stop, drop, and roll
Yep.
like where we were, and then we just all sit there and be like, "Who's gonna die?"
We're in the corner.
And then
like,
you'd hear someone's like, and you're like, "Good, they're dead. Everyone for the door. Let's talk about it. Debrief."
oh, we were so terrible. I'll never forget when I found out we could hide, and it was like our whole world had changed because
Oh yeah, and
there was no
and then it got-
strategy before.
And it got weird. There was just times when like you were just huddled in the closet, like super close to someone, looking at them like, "Hey, how you doing?"
I love the character models in Phasmo because they're super charming and how flat-faced they are, and the fact that if you stand next to someone, you can see inside their skull. And when you're like
Oh,
in a
yeah.
very tense moment hiding from a ghost, and all you can see is your teammates' eyeballs and teeth, it helps a little bit.
So like, what I was getting at before as well is like the fear of Phasmophobia isn't actually the getting killed. It's like the eeriness of knowing that something could happen at any moment. It's the suspense, the build up. It's
Mm.
like looking for something you don't really want to find. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's
For sure. Like the death animations are hilariously bad. The animation of the ghost, the way it moves, everything about the game shouldn't be scary, but it's fucking horrifying.
It's the atmosphere, really.
it's
Yeah,
the
the
it's,
atmosphere and
it's
the
the lighting. They've done such a good job with the lighting too.
And the
Um,
sound design is amazing.
That's it. The sound design's what
That's-
really does it.
I do remember
for-
that time we had to get 0 sanity and we all just hid in a closet for the entire game, and like the sounds,
so
you
brave.
knew exactly where the ghost is in the
You
house.
could
and
hear
what it was
its
doing, and
creepy little
breathing.
opening, closing doors. You could hear the footsteps making its way around. You could hear it whispering, like screaming. Oh, terrible.
Mm. I
The
hate when it
one
gets
thing-
right up to your ear and just like
Oh, spirit
makes
box
that
when-
awful noise.
Like,
The first
Yeah,
time I used the spirit box and actually got a response, I nearly cried. I was just alone in the kitchen. You guys made me go and by myself with no lights on, no flashlight, and I was just huddling in the kitchen going, "How old are you? What's your name?" And then he whispered in my ear, and I literally ran outside screaming like, "Guys, spirit box!"
I was hiding. I've only had a response in the spirit box twice. I've only started using it more regularly recently because I'm a chicken. I was like being a mega chicken. So what I did is I grabbed the spirit box. I ran into this little house we were in. I ran into like the safest bedroom near the front door, shut the closet, and then went, I like, "Where are you?" And then it went, "Behind you." And I was like, "Oh!" Opened the closet and just started like running. I was like, "No!" Just threw it on the floor. I was like, "No,
Yeah.
no."
That's all
You're
you
in the
need. That's the
closet.
one evidence. That's
It was
all you
with
need.
me in the closet. It was like behind you. I was like, and I had locked myself in a dark room in the closet on my own. I was like, no. I was like,
He was
mistakes
spooning
were
you
made.
in the closet.
Because you have to be within 3 meters
Yes.
of the ghost to
I
trigger
just-
it. Do you think it followed you in?
I just felt like the back of a hand just gently come down my cheek. I'm like, no.
I was having a little moment with you in the closet. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, no, I hate the fact you have to be within 3 meters of it. Because you know that it's right there, and if a
you're
ghost event were
alone
to start,
within
you're
3
screwed.
meters in the dark or in the same room as it. I think those are all the rules, but like, yeah.
Like,
I've never had a response. But sometimes, like, it does a hunt or a haunt. If you're speaking in the spirit box, I feel like that triggers it because I haven't had a response, but I've had the lights go out and just chaos happen.
Mm.
But
so like, you need to get a response, by the way. They are so special. Like, it whispering to you is so
It's very
disgusting.
intimate.
Yeah. Like, you
In a
feel like
bad
you're
way.
really- Oh, Holly. You shouldn't have.
How would you
Well,
guys
maybe instead
feel?
of going to the gym, we can play some more Phasma.
Yeah, you'll
Nope,
burn
going to
lots
the
of-
gym.
You'll sweat a lot playing Phasmo. I was gonna say, how do you guys feel about real life ghost hunting now that you've done it in a video game?
No,
Absolutely
I
no.
don't believe in ghosts, but I also don't want to test that theory.
no, but like it's also just gross. Like there's no winning. It's either like you waste a bunch of time and wander around a spooky house and scare yourself half to death and nothing happens, or
That's a
something
win.
does happen and you scare yourself to death and you don't sleep for like the rest of your life.
Good
No,
point.
I'm down because let's say worst case scenario, something happens. At least then you know that something exists in life, and that's kind of nice to know. Maybe there is something going on, you know.
I feel like one of the problems with the human race is that they should be okay with just
Not
not
knowing.
knowing some things and just moving on and focusing on the things that we can quantify and we do know. Because don't get me wrong, I think that like a small portion of the population should, like really intelligent people should dedicate their life to like further exploring our like understanding of the world and knowledge and universe we live in, and then the rest of us should just focus on, you know, building a good world to live in.
Human curiosity is the death of us.
Yeah, like what do we learn by finding out ghosts are real?
Or that maybe we don't, you know, that maybe there's an afterlife, maybe things aren't black and white, maybe when I die I won't just cease to exist, which is a horrifying concept.
I don't know, it's kind of comforting knowing you could just like disappear.
But whatever
to my existence, you know, it's important to me.
This is like a very hefty topic.
Yeah, but the high potential is that you don't know what's going to happen once you die. So like, why worry about it? Why not just enjoy your life and like spend like every minute you have the best you can?
It's just around the corner, Josh. It's creeping up on you. Each day is a day closer to death. It's inevitable.
Oh boy. One thing that's good that the humans
if we start
explored,
ghost hunting.
No. is the bottom of the ocean. Did you know that humans have barely explored it? Absolutely barely. You know, I think we know more about space than we do about our own creatures, real deep. And
there's also very little down there that deep, right?
Like, no. How are you supposed to know that, Taylor? There's a lot of weird stuff down there. Have you seen those long jellyfish? They're like 10 feet long.
Yeah, I have.
Those things,
have you guys seen that ugly fish? I feel really bad for it because like it actually looks fine.
The blobfish.
Yeah, the blobfish looks fine down deep, but it gets so messed up through decompression when it gets brought up that's why it looks like a blobfish.
Doesn't it combust
it's probably a good-looking fish in its environment.
Down there,
and we're just we've named it
down there. They call it the Chadfish.
Yeah, it's the Chadfish.
We're bullying it. We're like beating it up, and they're going, "Ha ha, it's ugly."
Yeah, like aliens pulling us into space. Be like, "Oh, look at this exploded fucking person."
Got to call it the Blobman.
They look like this.
Oh man, but like. I was gonna say the one thing, like just looping it back to like Phasmophobia and back to Minecraft. My philosophy is because like Phasmophobia is like, I don't know, like the characters like you said, and they're like a little bit jank, and like the ghosts are a little bit jank and stuff, but it doesn't take away from the experience. And I think that what it tells me is like, I've never like been huge on like, you know, AAA graphics and all that kind of stuff. I've never felt that they've made my favorite games. Like I've never been like, wow, this game was completely made by the cinematic experience. Like it's always been like fun, social, like engaging loops like that either get me scared or funny or
I can't name a single excellent game with good graphics.
Yeah, hear
like
me
my
out.
favorite games are like Crusader Kings 2, Mountain Blade, Phasmophobia. Like any game that has like a lot of originality and bold mechanics typically doesn't also have good gameplay graphics.
What's funny about my taste is I actually prefer the games that have their own art style. Like I find that super charming is when they dictate the art style to match the gameplay and the vibe. Whereas a lot of companies are putting a lot of resources into making their games as realistic as possible. But at that point, it's like
and they achieve uncanny valley so often.
Oh, it's so
like
bad.
So bad. Like Zelda, like Breath of the Wild, like the beautiful, like low poly, artistic art style,
shading, art's gorgeous.
Like, just like a masterpiece, a graphical masterpiece, with like a fraction of the budget of some of these like and art designers, like some of these like giant AAA like. It's like Cyberpunk, right? Like there's like I don't know if you guys have seen like Video Game Donkey's like review on Cyberpunk, and like it's like this like there's so many weird moments where like you shoot someone in the leg and they look at you and go, "Hey, why are you doing that?" And you're like, no, you know, with your super realistic graphics, you're like, what?
Yeah.
I almost feel like visual clutter, like visual pollution's a thing too, because I've been going back and playing like, you know, the original Jack and Dexter's and stuff and these old PlayStation 1 games, and
those were great.
Everything on screen was important to you. Everything was clear. The gameplay, like, I don't know, it was almost self-explanatory because the only thing on the screen was interactable elements, whereas now with the level of detail, it's almost like clutter and pollution, and it takes away from the experience. And that's why I too think Breath of the Wild was such a good game, because although it looked great, it didn't have unnecessary layers of bloom and filters and just items that were useless.
There are games where it works, like The Last of Us 2, for example, one of the most groundbreaking graphics, but I mean, half the time you don't know if something's interactable, and I've seen people just run around in circles having no idea where to progress because they can't figure out what object they need to find.
And it's also like a slightly different genre, right? Because they like, I feel like games can go hyper intensive in graphics if they're like predominantly a storytelling game.
Especially
that's like
if they're
the-
horror. I find horrors are super good
Yeah.
when they're realistic.
Yeah, right. And that's like really great. But like, it's like when you try and bring it all together, when you're like, I'm going to make like a big multiplayer title that has to have super realistic graphics, and like that's when it kind of starts to get like, you know, a little bit jaded. So like it has its space, but like my top 10 gaming experiences of the last 10 years have not been like AAA graphics titles. They've been like indie
gems.
low poly, or like jank asset pack.
I'm playing Dungeon Keeper 2 right now again, released in 1999, and it's still hands down my favorite game of all time, made by Bullfrog. And Dungeon Keeper 1 a few years earlier was even more just not as good to look at, like no 3D. It looks good, but it would be a hard pitch to a modern audience, and the gameplay was just fantastic. And these are games that were released before the year 2000, and they still hold up because they were unique and great. They were fun.
And I'm like a huge fan of the pixel art genre. I mean, you can tell from the branding of our Phat chat, but you know, it's crazy because pixel art used to be a limitation that games had to do to fit less data into the game. You know, they didn't have as much space to work with. Yet now
CD.
people are using it as a stylistic choice, and it's so beautiful.
God, that reminds me, like there was like a time in between time where, because they moved to a model, I can't remember whether it was like Xbox 360 or Xbox One, but I think it was 360, where a disc would have like some of the component files, but then you'd actually have to download a large amount of the data of the game from the internet. So you'd have to download some and use the disc. And then just like prior to that, and like Xbox and PC, and even some Xbox 360 titles, etc., you get like some of these like JRPGs that would like, you get the case and open it up and it's like 4 discs, and you're like, okay, I play through disc 1, and that's how you like talk to your friends. You're like, oh man, I'm playing like this game. I'm on disc 3, and I'm like, man, these days, like if I saw a CD, I'm like, why isn't this in, you know, the bin? Why isn't it in the trash?
I can't remember the last time I had a computer with a CD drive. So.
It's crazy how outdated they became so quickly.
Yeah,
it was like there's only very few industries that still use like DVDs and CDs.
Even
and stuff.
flash drives. Like I went to uni not too long ago, and I remember on day one I brought this like nice, I think it was a 64 gigabyte hard drive, flash drive, and I had it on like one of those lanyards. I'm like, this is going to be so useful. And then I just never used it once because Google Drive and all those sort of tools are a thing.
The cloud.
It is funny though, because of people having more space on their devices now, I find that a lot of games are less picky about trying to compress their game as much as possible. So there's a lot of releases that are obnoxiously big because they don't care anymore about having to make it as small as possible.
A lot of the time are completely groundbreaking. They've just obviously not
unoptimized.
Yeah, that's it. Whereas back in the day,
into that category too, because I guess they're using Unity tools and stuff that they don't really understand.
Maybe.
Well, it's not. I don't think necessarily that they don't understand. It's just like if you're a small studio, or if like you need to get something to the market, like, and you need to trim time and get your community something, like, where do you save time? Like, do you want to spend the extra 2 months compressing all the files down to the most optimal size and output? You know, like, or do you just assume that everyone has like 2 terabytes of storage and they'll just delete a game they no longer play? Yeah. Am I right or am I right?
I lasted way too long. With my last computer, I had a 500 gigabyte SSD, which had my OS and my gaming on it. And I'd always planned to buy a second one, and I just never did. So I literally could have 1 game installed or 2 games installed, not just constantly like deleting and re-downloading. So.
My Photoshop files were just... I couldn't have games on my old computer. I had the same amount of gigabytes. And straight up, like, Photoshop, After Effects, all of that just took up all my space. No games.
Let me tell you the one thing I've learned. So now that I'm doing obviously like the Josh Jams, like streaming and like predominantly now video creation with the team, raw video files, uncondensed video files are like, holy crap, they're inefficient. Like they are so big.
I have a 2 terabyte hard drive SSD that's full, and I have like 6 games and just video footage on it. It's insane.
Man, I love it though. Like I found like some old video footage. Because like my big survival MMO input to the world was like Rust. Like I love Rust, and I have like these old clips. And Reese / the guy that's just joined our team, like we used to play a lot together, and I've got like all these old clips. Like I don't know how many years of Rust we have. Like we were around when Rust like first came to Steam, probably like 10, 12, 15. I don't even know.
It was huge.
It was 9 years ago when we lived together, and you played Rust for about a year straight without breathing or eating. Or
all I did was like go to work, came home, and played Rust, and
it was
unhealthy.
ridiculous.
But here you are now. Look what you've become.
Non-stop. He did not stop talking. The mic was going off 24/7. It was just commands. He was like a general in an army.
I remember you guys saying that when he joined Minecraft, you were like, "It's not Rust. It's not Rust. Stop treating it like Rust."
Yeah,
it's ingrained in you and how you play.
Reese and I took over the world in Rust. It was amazing, and I quit a long time before he did because I moved to like Auckland and like got real busy and stuff, and Reese carried on, and he took the clan we built and made it like even bigger and better, and like it achieved way more after I left than it did while I was there. But like even for the time, the year or whatever I was with him, like Taylor's right, like we were menaces and we loved it. Like the game was so fun, and it was built around like social experience. But what I found now is like every time I play any sort of survival building game, I'm looking for the same experience, and I assume it's like Rust. So I come in there, I'm like, I can farm or I can kill. Who do I kill? Give me your stuff. And so like when I logged into Minecraft, instantly like Taylor sort of took me down and straight away. It's not Rust. You don't have to kill everyone. It's not Rust. And I just picked up a pointy stick and I was like, give me all your shit.
Yeah, Minecraft, like you don't get away with that behavior. It takes so much more time to build something than destroy it. That like, yeah, I think there's very few communities that are okay with any level of trolling. Like even with our server, you can do that stuff, but there's like formal agreements that there's actually a rule book before you can do PvP. So
it's
we actually had like
got a court of justice now in Minecraft because of his actions. It was that jarring to the whole server. I'll never forget, after we ran away the first time, you thought you found us. And you set someone's house on fire. But it turned out to be a completely different community.
Wasn't it Jared, the server admin, too? You just drowned his
It was
house.
Lachlan. It was Lachlan, yeah. We formed like a lava worshipping cult. And we basically spent all of about 10 minutes.
By the way.
So what we did is we spent all about like 10 minutes, about 3 of us just like digging out, making iron buckets, and then filled them with lava that we found, and then we just ran around and demanded people either make like lava monuments to worship the lava, or we would just like turn one of their houses into a lava monument. Except we kind of got bored of it and just dumped all the lava we found on Lachlan's house and then moved to
gameplay. All respectful.
Oh man.
Yeah, I
comparing to lava worshipping and griefing. Gotcha.
So like
his true nature.
I get
showing.
that. I learned what Minecraft is all about now. It's not Rust. It's, you know what I mean? Like we're not, so like it's not that sort of social engineering. So like I apologize. And
he begged. I don't remember an apology. He begged to be allowed to join communities.
He sounded so sad, man. We caved.
It was definitely like a sympathetic like waiver.
You know what's funny?
When I got a letter,
we discussed baking you a cake because you sounded so sad. We were like, "Oh, let's make him a cake to feel better." And then someone piped up me, "Guys, he should be baking a cake for us. We've been manipulated." Man, you're a menace. What? I don't know how you did that to us.
I just like to watch the world burn. Like I flick it up, like, and then just when people were starting to trust me again, I put the chicken launchers in the trees and started like I learned the tact of trolling.
You have to be tasteful about it.
Yeah, you can't wreck what people are building.
You have to pin it on somebody else. That's a key part of the equation.
Oh man, and like let me tell you, I did. But I felt so bad about it because the person I pinned it on, legitimately, like the story was playing out way too well, and he was about to get like
crucified,
all, like, collecting eggs and collecting pitchforks.
Yeah, like I realized what was happening. I was like, oh my god!
Because then just as we were like mobilizing the mob, so
yeah,
it didn't work out.
I love how we keep circling back to Minecraft. It's had that much of an impact on us the past 2 weeks.
It's been a lot of fun.
It's been a lot of fun. I feel like I get it out of my system this time and I won't touch it again for like 5 years.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people play like that.
I've tried to play it again over the last 10 years, but every time I do, I join with a group of friends and then the admin immediately cheats when no one's looking, or your friends get bored straight away. Like I haven't had an opportunity to get back into it with a group of friends because it just doesn't stay. But this is the first time
Or
I have a healthy server.
I was having a little whinge last night, Alina, because like I set up in the valley and like Jack has basically stopped playing. You've stopped playing. Lauren stopped playing, and I'm like, where is everybody?
It was the long weekend, Josh.
Yeah, but
I'll
like,
be
how
online.
dare you have a life? Like, how
Sorry.
dare you? Like, if I don't see you guys in Minecraft, I assume that you're sick.
We're dead. We've given up
Yeah,
on
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
I'm like, no, that's
Cassie's been like that a couple times. She's like, hey, Cassie, you want to play some games? She's like, oh, no, I'm going out to a social event. It's like,
it's like, and we're like,
How
come on,
dare
Cassie.
you?
what the fuck?
What's funny is
It's 2022, Cassie.
I had to have a real talk
Want
with
to
myself.
leave our house?
I'd spend all day working from home, and then I'd want to play games all night with my coworkers. And it got to the point where I was like, I'm not cleaning my house anymore. I'm not leaving the house anymore.
Perfect.
I'm not exercising. I was like, straight up, I'm going to have to cut out the Minecraft time a little bit. Very
I was like,
devastating decision.
If you were like waking up in the mornings and picking little bits of Dorito out of your hair, but we had like an awesome valley, I'd be happy.
Okay.
This like
once in a while
I need to
thing.
make better life decisions, Alina, is like getting super old super quick.
It's not
All
coming
right.
from us. We
We'll
don't
find a new
support
game to be
this.
obsessed about.
What do you mean? We still have Minecraft. It's I'm not done yet.
You're going to like force people back in with like, I'm putting chickens in your house. You better get back here quick.
I have no intentions of stopping. I'm just going to chip away at it over the next 6 months, hopefully. Just
I've been
building
I've,
and exploring and
I like
I've
to
been
have a
ramping
big-
up. Like I've been
big
ramping up. I like having my big plans, but now I'm going to go through and decorate and make everything look really nice. I'm going to enchant, get all my enchanting stuff, and then like we're going to kill the Ender Dragon, and then like I'm probably going to like uninstall and move on with my life. But like, or make some big grand project, take a screenshot of it, and move on with my life. But I think what really makes Minecraft special is just like you said, Taylor. If you try and play it yourself, like you're like, oh, hard to find motivation for a lot of people. But again, like social gaming and multiplayer gaming has just become such a staple of what can even make a simple game viable.
You guys
Like,
aren't that decorative after all. Yet I've seen both of you care so much about your houses in Minecraft looking nice.
oh yeah, there is no decorations in my IRL house, but my Minecraft, I'm working on that pillar. I'm trying out the stairs. I'm trying out the slabs. I got candles on a fence post, you know.
And if it wasn't
Still look good.
social, you wouldn't be doing that. So
No, I'm just trying to impress people, you know.
I'm not a very balanced person. Like I won't play all week, right? But then on like a Friday night, I'll go for 8 hours and I'll do everything.
I heard about the famous like the triplet girl drinking night until 4 a.m. in the morning Minecraft binge. I heard about that.
That was great.
So like it was you and two of the other designers got together and just drank and played Minecraft.
8 hours.
How
straight.
how productive was that at like hour 7?
That was when I got lost for 2 hours. So it was them like helping each other build and me going, guys, what's the fucking coordinates? I'm lost again in my boat. Yeah. We achieved nothing, but that wasn't the point. We had so much fun.
That's at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. At the end of the day, that's all that really matters. That's the bit of like of the gaming industry that everyone needs to focus on again. Is like, did people actually have fun? Like, I swear to God, sometimes I play League of Legends, and by the time I'm done playing, I'm like, I just played for an entire evening, and I literally wish I didn't.
But
That's always sad.
So much fun in League of Legends. Every I'd say 1 in 20 games is the best moment of my life. The other 19 miserable, but it's that 1 in 20 that just keeps me coming back.
And you're like, it's kind of like a little bit of a what they created was nice for sure, but like a little bit of a drug almost, right? Like you get that one win, and you're like, God, that felt good. And then you lose over and over and over and again. You're like, I'm having a miserable time. I don't want to game anymore. You're like, but I'll just play one more because I just want to get that.
It's like training a
It's
rat
that
to
win
press a
when
button.
You know the entire team is miserable, where they're upset, their lives are over, they're really angry about
Jesus
it.
Christ.
Those are the games I live for. As a Teemo main, those are the games.
Minecraft, Phasmophobia. This has been like what was Project Winter. Like we've been fully focused on like like simple social games with just like amazing depth and like even Phasmophobia. Like again, it's not like the best graphics in the world and everything's like so mega polished and stuff like that. It's literally like the whole concept of the design of the game. Like you're going in there to identify what the ghost is, so you have like lurk about and set things up and like try and figure out what it is, and like they created that like layer of polish and depth just in other areas, which just made it so much more interesting. It's just like a masterpiece, in my opinion.
I mean, I heard that one of our editors, Jack, actually got to level like 55 in Phasmo and had no idea how to play properly. But because the experience with friends was so much fun, he just played it a load.
Jack is like, I played with Jack a bit. Jack's the kind of guy where you can be like, you're all on 0 sanity. And like, you're like, the next person who walks in is going to die. But can someone go in there and try the spirit box? Jack will be like, I'll do it. And he'll pick up the spirit box and he'll wander into the house, like, the big lanky beanstalk character he plays.
Yeah.
And you'll see him like, we'll be watching through the cameras and Jack's just sitting there like, are you with us? And you just see like his name question mark out and he's like, oh, well.
I've never seen Jack say no to anything. Not one thing. He's agreed. He's like, yeah, man, I'll do that. Like everything.
I think Jack will actually be put up for like person of the year.
Yeah,
in, like Time magazine. Yeah,
he's so agreeable that we got him to edit this 1 hour long podcast for us. Creds to Jack, doing a great job.
Jack is he's certainly one of the nicest people I know.
Can't stand him.
Oh, Taylor, aren't you a gem to be with?
You can't pull this out that much, guys. Come on.
You know what, right? I'm gonna say it because you know what? Jack is the guy that lived across the lake who brought me to the nomads in Minecraft when I was just a sad, lonely bandit. I was a bandit of 3. The other 2 logged out. I had no idea. I didn't even know how to make a weapon. Like I didn't even found my bearings.
Decorated your house too. There's no way you were the design behind that.
Not at all.
No, Jack helped me with the shaft. So what happened was because it's pixel, right? It's squares. So making a circle out of squares is interesting. But Jack was there.
He made it happen. He's going to be editing this. He's just going to be like blushy.
Yeah, he's going to enjoy it. And then the second we chat to him later, Jack will be like, hey, thanks for those kind words. We'll be like, shut up, Jack.
Get back to work. Oh, boy.
But it's public perception, Jack. No, but like, the craziest thing about our studio is like we've all become like not like work friends, but like cringe real friends. Like we've been like all hanging out and playing so much games together. I mean, like the whole studio. There's like
about that. That's really weird to like. We've all become friends, and we're all sitting here like I never signed to that. Like
I don't know. Maybe not everyone. Maybe some people are like screw these guys. They're weird. Like But honestly, like there's so many little gaming groups. Like we're not all part of like the same groups. Like people have like different ones, and it's nuts to say like Phasmophobia tends to be like a couple different faces. Like the Minecraft server, I think is like over 40 to 50 unique team member logins, like with different groups and clans and stuff. Like it's been super interesting, and like I see there's like other crews like playing that like horse drifting game like in the dev team.
Fun. We should have played that longer.
Yeah, but it's super cool. I'm loving it. Like. This is a bit of a dream for me, like being part of the gaming industry finally, the video gaming industry. Super excited about it. But all said, we are going to be doing a nightmare challenge on Phasmophobia, no leaving the house.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, okay, I'll look forward to that.
Oh no, bus.
It's going to be awful. I hate it because like when we've tried it in the past, you actually have to survive hunts, whereas usually we just like go in, quickly check something, run back to the van. But if you can't leave the house, you're just forced to endure.
There's an unspoken rule that once the thing talks to you in the spirit box, you have to leave the house immediately. Like everyone drops what they're doing. They're like, talk, and everyone just runs out of the house. But when there's like, I'm behind you, and you're like, okay.
Oh, it's going to be so awful.
It turns the power off. Any ghost event, we're like,
all right, guys, it's the spirit box.
We're all hiding in the same closet again in our journals.
We haven't died in a while because we're just such cowards.
Like you sit in front of the dots projector and it just walks through the dots and you see it materialize and you're like, dots projector.
We're editing the first video right now. There's a moment where Josh is just sitting there staring at the dots projector. And he's like, I saw it, guys! I saw it! And we take it off. And then every time we take it off, we never question it. We've slowed it down to 0.25%. There was nothing. Josh saw nothing. He's just sitting there. Nothing happens from his perspective.
Man,
Are you hallucinating?
What a way to out me, man. when you're
It's in the video. We'll all see it. It's a highlight.
Yeah, well, listen, guys. What's important to know is that it's a ghost game. You know, like I'm a hype man. I'm there trying to add to the experience, and find reasons to run to the van.
Is that the time that we all got it wrong except for Josh? Did he lie to us to get a win?
No, this is the time we got it wrong because I didn't understand how EMF worked, and then I changed my answer, and you guys all yell at me.
Oh, that was so funny.
Oh yeah, that sucked, man.
That's our first video.
You were
The
terrible.
most annoying thing about Taylor is that like he's so confident when he's wrong.
Yep, it's a skill. Actually,
He's like, it's EMF.
feedback once from one of my instructors.
It's EMF. Put it in your books, everyone. Put it in your journals. It's EMF, and then we lose, and we're like, hey, it wasn't EMF, and you're like, oh damn, I guess I didn't know how that worked.
Oh, we got so angry at you for that one.
I know.
We were so on track for what Ghost
and
it
I
was.
changed it. I got it right.
Except the difference being that apparently I've been edited getting one wrong with the dots predictor, which by the way, like if anyone's seen the dots predictor, like it can be as much as like a toddler's outline for half a second going through some green dots in a dark room. So like, sorry, I got it wrong.
You were definitely hallucinating. You were terrified.
I was tripping balls.
The sanity pills were hitting different.
I was just out in the van like it's Dutch projected, guys. I 100% saw it. Why is there so much smoke in the van? Ugh.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it, bro. It's a gin, dude.
I feel like we're going to be weirdly knowledgeable about types of ghosts now. Or overconfident about types of ghosts.
Except like, yeah.
Who actually knows is like, oh no, because like the game, I don't know if the game's 100% accurate, but I'm going to believe it is.
It's got to be a little bit fiction to balance it
Nah,
all out.
I felt like they did research on like ghost hunters and stuff because there's like many different depictions of what ghosts are real and not, and house hauntings, and like there's plenty of like services set up in real life where people will come to your house and like, you know, identify ghosts. I'd be so mad if someone used a smudge stick in my house. I'd be like, I think there's a ghost, and they're like, no worries, man. Just start pouring ashes on the floor. I'd be like, are you gonna fucking clean that?
There's like salty footprints everywhere.
Yeah. They just grab your table salt and crack it off and just drop it on the floor. You're like, dude, that was all my salt.
Oh,
that is a big pile of salt that we leave.
They set off your fire alarms with the smudge sticks. You're just like, bro.
If any of that stuff was real, I wonder who figured it out, eh? Like someone just walked into a house just trying to appear knowledgeable. They're like, give me your salt.
Oh my god. Same with like how the EMF works. I am a bit of a dum-dum. I don't know. I assume it's electromagnetic fields or something, but it is interesting how people have all these ghost hunting tools and they have total confidence in them, but we don't have definitive proof as humanity that ghosts even exist.
Well, I mean, religious people are real confident too. Like, I think everyone is really confident about what they believe in. So
I was going to say,
and it's okay to be.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it's probably like folklore and stuff, like smudge sticks, for example. It probably originates from that kind of spirituality.
I mean, like it's okay. Like you know, some people have experienced ghosts. They proclaim that they've experienced ghosts, and like. Who's anyone to tell them they're right or wrong?
It's tempting to believe them because it's such a cool concept.
I hope they're a ghost because I don't want to die and cease to exist. Yeah, we're back on that.
Taylor would love to be a djinn.
Taylor's being real existential today.
He's a forward thinker, a forward planner.
Real forward. I mean, you never know. It could be tomorrow.
It might be. People die every day, all the time.
Especially in the world we live in now, man. It's been a scary couple of years.
Has been a bit alarming.
I'm just really happy that One Piece is airing again.
Yeah, can you imagine if we never found out what the One Piece is? Like, if you died today, Josh, you'd never know. You'd just think it was the friends we made along the way.
No, you know what's worse is if Oda doesn't make it before he finishes the manga.
Don't even touch wood or something, Alina, right now.
I'm touching wood. That would be awful.
Things. Like George R.R. Martin is never finishing
Oda.
King Killer Chronicle is also just never going to be finished.
Oda is an effing angel and a gem to this world, and we should all donate organs to keep him around as much as we can.
Donate our youth.
Yeah, I'd like to. Well, I already have. I've watched this TV show.
Yeah. That's a good hour of your life.
I watched a TikTok that added up all of the minutes in One Piece and including the movies, and it was something like 26 weeks. Okay, it was something disgusting, and I'm like, I'm trying to catch up. I've just hit episode 100, and Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to do it. It's like 900 episodes to go and I still won't be done.
One of my friends claims to have finished all of One Piece in just one of the lockdowns. That's got to be impossible, right?
No, that's possible.
Yeah, look, let's Google it. Let's Google it so I'm not a liar.
I just every day you wake up, One Piece, One Piece, One Piece, go to bed.
Which should be really hard because One Piece actually, if you watch the anime, like if you read the manga, sure, but like if you watch the anime, like the best parts of One Piece typically are the ends of the arc.
Yeah.
The build up can actually be like quite repetitive and like drawn out.
And a lot of
And
flashbacks
then, like,
as
Good
well.
though, like even the fillers, like they're quite self-contained and they don't really progress much, but they're still really well done.
I love the filler.
I don't really think One
I
Piece has
always
fillers.
watch it.
Oh, there's a lot of mini adventures anyway.
But they reference them. Like a lot of people that don't get that far in are like, oh, what about the whale arc? And you're like, oh man, if you watch further, like the whale gets referenced in a very important part of the journey and links back into the whole thing. And it's like, you need to just.
friends with that whale. He's like, I'm coming back for you, right?
I loved him.
But you don't even know, like you and Alina, because I know what you're up to in this TV series. You don't even know
Alabasta.
what that whale's tied into in its story. You don't even know.
He has come back where I'm up
talk
to.
About it in 3 years. Or if I start right now in 23,684 minutes, which is 396.4 hours or 16.52 days. So I'll see you in 17 days if I don't stop watching it from now.
See you then.
So no, you could not watch it in a 2 week.
All right, guys, see you that episode. No.
Oh my
No,
god,
but, like,
imagine
Your friend
podcast
Elena,
episode
you
3.
You let him know he's a liar, and I said so.
Okay. I will do. But imagine
So-
podcast episode 3, Taylor's like, I finished it! I finished One Piece!
You know what, though?
Watching straight.
That person could have done what you said, Alina, if they were one of those like really annoying anime watchers where they just skim through episodes and shit, where they just like, have you ever met someone like
Yeah.
that where they're like, oh,
There's
I
actually a
don't really know
website
that.
called One Piece where they edit the episodes to take out all the filler, all the flashbacks, and they like shorten it down to like 20 episodes per arc. And I don't know how I feel about that. I'm
You
sure it's great
definitely-
if you need to skim through the series, maybe a rewatch.
You don't need to do that. When you're up to the episode that I'm up to, when you're just waiting 1 week per episode, you would wish you still had episodes to watch. So like, just enjoy the experience. It's one of the greats.
That's why I'm taking it slowly, because I honestly I would hate for them to chop out like character moments and
Oh, 100%.
interactions. I love the little moments between the crew members.
Yeah.
It's so
that's
endearing.
it becomes such an emotional journey by the time you get up to where it's up to now.
Oh, it already is. I feel like it grew on me so quickly.
It feels like Phasmophobia could become like that
Sorry.
for us.
Phasmophobia could come.
An emotional journey as we move into the nightmare, because like we're starting to get so like pro and so bold, but I feel like we're still gonna get massacred relentlessly.
We're such scrubs. Like as soon as we got onto the school, we're like, let's go check every room in the school, and just couldn't find it because we didn't know any of the advanced.
Dude, it
schools,
told us to split up, and we still refused to.
Yeah.
We were
got
holding
split up,
hands,
so we're
running
like,
around.
All 4 of us checks every room together. Like, not efficient.
We should, in hindsight, we should have used like parabolic microphones and things to
And
try and like
split up.
triangulate.
Ooh, fancy.
Well, all of this aside, I'm sure we have a lot more ghost hunting to do, and we will find out where the Tower of Doom in the middle of the lake ends up. But multiplayer gaming is
phallic palace, I think we're calling it.
and very soon we're going to be able to talk about Rust shenanigans.
Yeah, so we're playing Rust, aren't we?
We
I'm
are.
terrible at Rust too, so that'll be fun.
It's basically like high school reunion. Dicker and I playing Rust together again.
Oh, bless. I was tempted
It's-
to join until I found out that
Sure.
you guys played it religiously. Now I'm a
You're-
bit daunted.
I'm terrible. I have
But
no
what if
idea.
you were just the base person, like the person who just built the
You
base
could-
and managed
there
the
is
base?
art you can do. You can put these
You
signs
could
up,
draw.
You actually get painting
Really?
tools, and you can paint.
Yep.
things.
Is this the equivalent of the van guy in Phasmophobia?
No.
Just the
No.
support
You
man.
can also organize the storage and maybe even chop down some trees.
And you can, and as we're running home and we're like, Alona, help! You can say fire bows out windows and give us cover fire.
Okay. This is growing on me. I'll consider it.
Well, me and you, we can work on the house because I'm terrible at everything else.
Relatable.
And we're gonna play game modes where you can practice the shooting prior to the actual real game, so you can learn how to like defend yourself.
Always
Gonna give
useful.
you I give Taylor and Alina some self-defense training.
From the PvP master himself, master of Minecraft.
No, so like there's about 5 stages. There's about 5 stages in a Rust player's career. So there's like a useless noob. Who you guys are.
Wow.
And
I know my place.
then there's like the noob, but has some use, and that's me. And then there's like the good players, and then there's like Durka.
Yeah, I was gonna ask where he would be on that tier ladder.
Yeah, there's like a handful of players of OCE, like maybe like
Who would win in a fight, Josh? Dirk or a Stimpy?
Ooh.
Durka, like every time.
You reckon?
Yeah.
You might be burning a bridge.
You could ask Stimpy that question. Ask Stimpy, hey, if like you guys had like a first to 100 AK battle, who would win? Like, I don't think Stimpy would ever be like, I'd win that one.
Is it possible for us to test it out?
I mean, probably not, but
Probably not. We'll probably play with Stimpy at some point, hopefully.
Would be a very
We'll
cool
see.
collab.
I used to play me, Dirker and Stimpy used to play like back in the day, like from wipe to wipe. Like Rust is like one of those games where like you get together with a group for a wipe, and then sometimes next wipe you play with like a different group. And like wipes typically are like 1 to 2 weeks. Some of the longest servers are like a month. It's kind of like it's a weird game like that. But like when you base with someone for a week, like that's your team. And if like you and your friends are based with different people, it's over, and there's like little groups. It's like a whole thing. But I'll see how it goes. We're gonna cut back into it. I'm gonna drag you two along.
Oh no.
We'll see how it goes.
I've been locked in now.
Oh well, guys. Well, I think that's us though, guys. I think all things spooky ghost and all things Minecraft aside, I've got a lot more to play, but I'm loving it. It's a blast to the past, and it seems to be progressing. So thanks so much everyone for hanging out, and we will catch you next time.
Yeah. See you next time.